talk shit, but I back shit up.
Yeah, I talk a lot of shit, but you know, I back that shit up.
I talk shit, but
You know,
I
I'm
back
speaking
shit
about that
up.
real shit, you know, that shit that I really do. You know, that shit that I've done, that shit I'm be about. You know, if I talk about pimping, it's cause I've been about pimping. If I talk about selling dope, it's cause I've been about selling dope. You know, I only spit that shit I'm talking about. You know, I spit about gang bang. You know, I give it a nibble in that little bit.
Now you probably only know me from lyrics I spit, so I'ma take you on a journey into some personal shit. Go back to '86 when I hit the LVC. 80 bucks was what we split between Ron and me. Breaking in hotel rooms at Moulin Rouge. I never banged, but if I did, I choose the blues. We took 50 of our 80 and we doubled it up. Trouble was my middle name, bad as fuck. Drinking 8-ball for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Had a bitch, but not for money. Went up in her. A natural born winner, 100% sinner. Before I chose the street life, my pocket stayed thinner. For 3 years I slang, 15 years I pimp. 26 months in the penitentiary with wimps. I'm in the wild, wild west where it's crazy as fuck. I talk a lot of shit cause I can back shit up.
Talk shit, but
And you know, when I moved out to Las Vegas, you know, it was a lot of little crazy shit going on. You know, the niggas would run up the cars on the corner selling dope, you know. So I had to be about that, you know, cause that was about, you know, making that money was all about, you know. But then, you know, a couple years later, they got back into, you know, like pimping that bitches, you know what I'm saying? You know, and the pimping that bitches, we had that money come in, that money was coming in so fast, hell, niggas just got sprung on it, you know.
I never did no drugs, but I did inhale once upon a time. I was 17, I think at the time. I got too paranoid, a nigga started tripping and shit. I drink a lot of beer, cause that shit fit. I've been spitting on this microphone since '81, making beats and battle rapping, man, that shit was fun. I never cared too much about music, paying my bills. It was all about a nigga demonstrating his skills. I only rap about the shit that I did or I'm doing. It's usually about that money, cause that's what I'm pursuing. I'm born in Alabama, but raised up in Louisville, a country motherfucker. Hey, I'm keeping it real. Survival of the fittest, that's why I'm still living. Hard dick and bubble gum is all that I'm giving. I'm fresh out of bubble gum, bitch, back up some. I told you I get paranoid, where's my gun?
You know, I've been rapping on this shit, you know, for a long time now, you know, a very long time, you know, for shit, maybe about 20 years plus, you know. And I hear a lot of new rappers coming out, you know, they spend a lot of big words and shit, a lot of shit, you know, a nigga that ain't really feel it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit a nigga can't even really understand, you know, I don't really try to go all out like that. I try to keep it nice and mellow, you know, something you can roll with, something you can lay back to, you know what I'm saying?
I write songs down to earth so you can understand it. Don't use a lot of big ass words and shit, cause usually when I'm writing I'm fucked up anyway. My drunk ass ain't got too many words to say. I make tracks that you can cruise to, but I cater to fools too. Nowadays it's hard for me to figure out who's who. I seen a nigga in church the other day sagging. Until my oxygen stops, I'ma keep bragging. Every album I do is moments of my lifetime. I'ma be an old ass man writing rhymes. I'm George Foreman of the industry. I fuck you up like Hennessy. Talk shit and back shit up, nigga, we finna see. Look at me, a true pimp, inside and out. Bring a whole around me slipping if you still got doubt. And I'ma break a bitch if that's what it takes for you to understand that everything that I'm saying is true.
You know, I can back all this shit up. You know, you can, find me on the website. You know how you can find where I am. You know, just come and holler at me. You know, EMC. You know, I'm always there. I'm always gonna be around. You know, my number's listed. You know, Brent Sale, PCS. You know, hit me up. You know, niggas know who I am. Niggas know where I be. You know, I don't be hiding from nobody, man. You know, I ain't trying to make no enemies with nobody. But you know, I'm just trying to be real with this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, if a nigga's real with it, nigga know what I'm saying. Nigga knows I'm trying to, you know, put out there to the people. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just feel about this shit, so that's why I like to talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? When I speak about that pimping, like I said before, nigga, because I be about that pimping. I like taking money from bitches because, you know, taking money from bitches, it pays me. You know, it keeps me rich, it keeps me fat, it keeps me doing things. You know what I'm saying? Because a nigga like to go to YMCA and shit like that. You know, lift a little weight, you know, play a little ragga ball. You know, a nigga like to get in a nice flat plush car, man, just roll around town and do his own thing. You know what I'm saying? I like to do my own thing. I like to just be about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Never two niggas out there I like to fuck with. You know, I got my niggas Speedy, I got my niggas Big Ish. You know, my niggas Don P, my niggas Daryl H. You know, I got my niggas like that. You know.